afternoon to those tuning into their TVs and radios, and good afternoon to my wonderful audience. Welcome to my show, Let's Talk. I'm your host, Erica Tan. So with that said, let's talk. Hello, you're watching Let's Talk. Today we will be discussing the letter of George Washington to the Hebrew congregation and how it relates to the present-day Catholic religion. In this letter of George Washington, he applauded the Jewish community for speaking out for freedom because they are a minority religion. I would now like to bring up my guests to discuss how Catholics have met and or not met their rights. Our guests today are Gabby, Alexis, and Father Ryan. They are here to give us their views on Catholicism. One by one, they will come up and talk about their views. So, let's talk. The first guest I will be speaking with will be Father Ryan. Hello, Father Ryan. How are you?
I am well, thanks to the life God has given to me.
Alright, so, Father Ryan, how do you think Catholicism has done with meeting the basic principle of religious liberty in the letter of Washington?
Before Catholics flourished, it was basically just like a minority religion. From history, the Protestants overruled and dominated the Catholic religion.
Oh really? Can you give us some more examples of what Catholics went through and struggled with to get where they are now?
Well, in the 19th century, many people believed that Catholics could not be loyal to the Pope, or Rome, and the American government, or Washington.
Oh wow! Does the tension between church and state still continue today?
Yes, it does. There have been issues going on involving both sides. A couple examples would be contraception and gay marriage.
Why were Catholics a minority religion?
It was a result due to constant hatred during the 16th century. Colonial law often persecuted Catholics, and that time period was called Reformation.
What are some examples of punishment for people who chose to follow this religion back then?
Well, in the Massachusetts Bay Area, priesthood could mean a harsh punishment of death.
Is there anything else we need to know about the struggles of Catholics?
While I was looking through studies, I found out that in 1785, the Catholic population was approximately 1% of the United States population. This was due to being a minority.
Well, those are some very interesting facts. Thank you, Father Ryan.
My pleasure.
Up next, I will be asking Gabby, a college student, on her views of Catholicism. Welcome back. Our next guest is Gabby, a college student from Notre Dame. She will be discussing with us the positive views of Catholicism. Hello, Gabby. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Okay, now that we have had one side of this discussion, we would like to hear your views. How do you think Catholicism has done with meeting the basic principle of religious liberty in the letter of Washington?
Well, today, Catholicism and American culture associate and influence each other in many ways. One example would be the 1983 and 1986. Bishops addressed war and peace in the Challenge for Peace, God's Promise and Our Response, and the economy and economic justice for all. These articles were widely read, most especially the economic justice for all, because it challenged how the United States made economic decisions.
That is amazing! Is there any way that Catholicism influenced education?
Yes, Catholic education is a significant contributor to our nation's overall education plan.
Could you give us more details on that?
From elementary to graduate school levels, the Catholic education institutions form the view and vision of the United States. The religion and social values taught in these schools have influenced American thinking.
Very interesting. Thank you, Gabby.
You're welcome.
Well, we have all heard the positive and negative views on Catholicism. Next, we will have Alexis, a middle school student, give her view on the Catholic religion. We are back, and I'm here with Alexis, a middle school student from St. Agnes Junior High. Having heard both sides, we are now going to have Alexis explain a perspective from both sides.
I think that a man can be loyal to both his God and his president.
What does it mean for a Catholic American to love his country?
He will not only love his environment because it is his home, but he will also love it because it was God's creation.
What do you think the main focus is?
I think the main focus of theirs is heaven. He will be thankful that he lives in a country where he can enjoy life and freedom.
Very intriguing. Thank you, Alexis. Now we will have the other guests join you and I for one last discussion. So now that we have talked to all three guests, we will now have one last discussion, the group discussion. You can all speak whenever you choose, so let's talk. What would you like to add before we close this discussion? Father Ryan?
Okay, well, based on interviews, religious association in the United States is both very diversified and flexible.
And nearly 1 in 3 Americans are born and raised as Catholics. But then when they become grown-ups, only 1 in 4 Americans are actually Catholic.
More than 25,965,993 Americans turn from the Catholic religion when they become adults.
Those are some very interesting facts. With all that said, it seems like this is a very important topic that needs more explanation and discussion. Thank you all for coming in and discussing with us Catholicism and how it relates to George Washington's letter to the Hebrew congregation. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm your host, Erica Tan. We will continue this next time on